I can honestly say that this has been one of the most difficult weeks of my time in Parliament.
In the early hours of the morning, 5 government MPs chose their conscience over the coalition.
I will be making the difficult decision to part with my party on some of the amendments.
The Renegades voting to protect transgender students, turfing a section of the Sex Discrimination Act that allows religious schools to discriminate on the basis of sexuality and gender identity.
I could not live with myself if I didn't seek to address those issues.
But Labor's proposed change to the Statement of Belief section of the Religious Discrimination Bill, which it says gives religious people the right to discriminate against other groups, was narrowly voted down.
This is a bill that I earnestly hoped would unite this place.
Fair to say it's done anything but. Equality advocates aren't happy with the religious bill as it stands. The Christian lobby isn't happy with the amendments, withdrawing its support. It's hard to find anyone who's satisfied at this point.
The division that this has caused in the last 2 weeks in certain parts of society out there has been absolutely disgusting.
The Prime Minister tried to wedge Labor and ended up wedging himself.
This afternoon, as another Liberal, Andrew Bragg, threatened to cross the floor in the Senate and reports emerged that the PM was shouted down in his own party room, the bill was put on ice.
It's not what the government designed. It's not what we had thought got the balance right.
We're not going to rush through a bill that has unintended consequences.
You've had 3 years.
I think this has been a complete mess by the Prime Minister.
Andrew Bragg is the Liberal senator who, as we just heard, planned to go against the government on the Religious Discrimination Bill, and he joins us now. Senator, why were you prepared to cross the floor on this?
Well, I think it's very important that we protect minority groups in our society, especially those that are vulnerable. And I thought that it was critical that we sent the right message to the trans community, that we were there and we had their back.
Andrew, it's no small thing to cross the floor. So what sort of pressure have you been under since revealing that you were willing to go against the government on this?
Look, there's always pressure in politics and in public life, and that goes with the territory. But the most important thing is that you need to be able to live with yourself at the end of the day. And I think these are matters of conscience. And I think it was important that we were able to get an outcome where we could send the right message to the trans community. And I think now we're in a better position than we were this time yesterday.
Well, Senator, it looks like you won't get the chance to cross the floor or have to cross the floor because Michaelia Cash is now pushing for a Senate inquiry instead. Is that just a delaying tactic to avoid dragging this mess into the election campaign?
Look, I'm not sure what will happen next. I am of the view that the idea of a religious discrimination bill is a sound idea. But I'm also keen that we eliminate discrimination that faces students and teachers in Australia's schools. I think both of those objectives are important and compatible.
Well, are you happy to see this go away then?
Well, no, I mean, I want to see the discrimination addressed. I mean, I think this is a problem that is facing too many Australians. I don't want to see anyone lose their education because they're gay or trans, and I certainly don't want to see any teachers lose their careers. And I think that the Senate has established that there are a lot of teachers that have been sacked in the past few years under the existing exemptions, and those need to go.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of problems with the bill then, because the bill didn't even address the teachers' question. You're a long way from agreeing with your party.
No, the party's position is to address these issues. The question is in what mechanism and when. I mean, I think that we should try and do it as soon as we can. I think that it's important to send a message to all the communities that are affected here that we're able to address them simultaneously.
Does that mean that the failure to have gotten this through before the election is a failure on the part of your government? This was an election promise at the previous election. We're now mere months away from this election. By any measure, that's a failure, even if only in political terms, right?
My sense is that the bill wasn't addressed today, but it hasn't been withdrawn. It'll be considered in the future, and I think it should be, because I want to see Australians of faith protected against discrimination, and I want to see LGBT community members protected against discrimination as well. And I think those are important objectives that we can address, I hope, simultaneously.
Reports tonight about a revolt against the PM in Monday's cabinet meeting. So this is according to our own political editor, Peter Van Onselen, who said that the Prime Minister, in speaking to the cabinet, said he was putting his leadership on the line on this issue and was proposing a deal to get the Religious Discrimination Bill through on those grounds, effectively saying, I'm staking my leadership on you getting behind me, and it seems the party hasn't got behind him. Has the party lost faith in the Prime Minister?
I think it's important to note that the Religious Discrimination Bill passed the House of Representatives last night.
Not the one the Prime Minister wanted.
One of the two chambers.
That's very clear.
Well, there is an amendment to the bill, but it's a very significant bill. It provides all sorts of new powers for religious institutions to preference so that they can maintain their religiosity. It also ensures that Australians of faith are protected against discrimination in the workplace, in public life. It is a very significant bill.
Okay, just one final question from you. How do you evaluate Scott Morrison's handling of this issue?
Well, I mean, this is a commitment that we took to the election. Philip Ruddock recommended there be a religious discrimination bill. That's what we have before the Parliament. But some of us would like us to also address the issues facing students and possibly teachers. And I think that can be accommodated. So I think so far we've been able to achieve what Philip Ruddock recommended, but I would like us to also address these issues, and I'm hopeful we could get that outcome as well.
All right, Andrew, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.